Hey guys, Vernon and Corum here. Welcome to the first episode of the ROI Podcast. Again, my name is Vernon Corum. I'm a local realtor here in Knoxville, Tennessee. I serve the greater Smoky Mountain area. We just wanted to start a new podcast to allow you the opportunity to be able to see and kind of know what's going on behind the scenes with ROI. You know, this was sort of a brainchild of me and my buddy Drew. We were sitting basically like this one night, just chit chatting, and we were like, how can we help others know a little bit more about East Tennessee, let others know a little bit more about investing? And the name Reliable Opportunity Investments came up. We were talking about ROI. As you know, in the business world, that's known as return on investment. In our world, that means reliable opportunity investments. And so when we're talking about that, you're thinking to yourself, what makes the investment reliable? What's a good opportunity? What's a good investment? Those are the things we're going to cover in this podcast. I got my co-host here with me today. He's kind of behind the scenes. Most people know him as that guy. If you've ever seen our TikTok videos, they're silly and funny. But what a lot of people don't know about Drew is he's a very, very bright guy, and he helps me with all my social media. And we've been chomping at the bit to do a podcast together for a long time. So we figured, hey, why not? How you doing, Big Drew? What's up, big dog?
Pretty good. I was kind of chuckling though when you were talking about us having conversations because I'm like, we were probably in the van you're sitting in right now. you
Absolutely.
know,
Right.
but yeah, no, this is probably like really 12, 15-ish years, whatever, however long it's been in the making. So, we've, like you said, I've always been the behind the scenes guy doing the branding and marketing and stuff for a lot of your projects and, nonprofits and kids basketball teams and 3 million companies, like whatever. I'm just like gorilla glue or A1. I'm just good on everything, I guess. But
That's right.
no, it's good, man. I said, like, I'm super pumped, not just for the podcast but for ROI. Obviously a lot of cool things in the mix, a lot of cool things on the horizon. I don't know, I'm gonna let you decide how much of that we share tonight, but
Sure, sure.
super pumped, man. I just, like I said, we've been chomping at the bit to get this thing rolling for a while, and I think that this is, ROI is probably the coolest thing that either of us have done so far. So, everybody knows, return on investment, but reliable opportunity investments is just to knock, you know, it's a home run out of the park. So I'm just glad to be a part of it. And you've been telling me for years to get from behind the scenes and step up in the light a little bit. So, here I am.
Well, here we go, big dog. Here we
Yeah,
go. Hey, let's
so,
talk a little bit about that. Let's talk a little bit about kind of where this idea came from. you know, most people know me as the guy who started a $2.5 million business with a broom, a mop, a tool belt and a dream. That's kind of where all this began in 2020. We started, my company staycating.com, which you are the guy who did the logos on that. We
mhm.
had a lot of things going on there. And as you said, we go back to like 2011, 2010. But more recently, what we've been thinking about is how can we add value to others? How can we add value to real estate agents? How can we add value to property managers? How can we add value to seasoned investors? How can we add value to the new investor that's coming along? And so we decided that, we've been doing this for years, right? I mean, this is stuff we've
Mhm.
been doing for a long time. We've been doing events, we've been, peddling products, we've been doing all kinds of things. And so one day I thought, let's just do this. Let's just build this thing from the ground up. And with the experience that I bring from the side of the investing and the real estate and the side that you bring from brand and marketing, and then all the other professionals that we've spoken to who are ready to jump on board and bring value to this. I think first and foremost, what we wanted to do was build a community. And I think
Yeah,
that's
and
what most investment companies are missing today.
I think it's
Most
important
investment,
too to remember too that, like, this is bigger than just, everybody knows you as like the short term guru, but this is not just, it's not even really just rentals, it's not even just real estate, it's not even just, I mean, when it comes to, you know, rentals in general, this is, it's short term, long term, medium, it's commercial, residential, but it's real estate, but it's also outside of that. Like, this is, ROI is bigger I know everybody thinks of you as like just the guru of short-term rentals, but like
Hmm.
said, I think that this is something where it doesn't matter if it's, well, hey, I want to start a restaurant, or hey, I want to, whatever. This is like a brainchild, like you said, that we've been talking about for so long. And I think it's important for people to understand like this is not just real estate or rentals. Like this is, if it's something that you can invest in that is a reliable opportunity, it's something that you can bring to us, bring to the table. It's branding, marketing, coaching, consulting. I'm about to like run through a brick wall. I'm just thinking about,
Sure.
but it's so much bigger, and this is one of those where it's kind of like Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory for you, but like literally this is where you're like rolling out your entire little black book of every professional person that you work with, where somebody's like, man, I want to work together on a project, but like, I don't have an Airbnb, or I don't have a short-term rental, or I don't have, this, it's kind of like all hands on deck. And I'm super excited because, seeing you grow staycating from, like you said, a mop, a broom, a bucket, a tool belt, and a dream to like a $3 million company. I mean, this is going to be something that a lot of people are going to want to get involved with, and I can't wait. But it's literally like, dude, if it's kind of like, well, I don't want to talk about a professional show where sharks sit together and get pitched ideas on a thing,
Right.
because that might be copyright. But it's literally like the Knoxville version of like, hey, elevator pitches.
Hmm. Funny you say that. I'm going to be at the high school tomorrow, listen to some teenagers do elevator pitches, and that's one of my givebacks to the community. But so
Are
the
you
way
going to make
you,
them sell you a pen?
oh yes, absolutely, that will happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's great about this is you and I don't do anything kind of small. We kind of go big when we do things. It's kind of always been our philosophy, go big, go home. We've done some big music events and things, and we've been on the news, we've been on TV. We've done a lot of great things in the past, but more recently, what we decided is we want to start this thing off with a bang. So October 1st, we're having an event. Um, we decided that we wanted to have it in a cool place. We want to bring some of the best people. So when I got to thinking about some things and you got to thinking about some things, I think you said it a while ago, we're not doing just real estate investing. We want to get into other opportunities because I invest in tech. For that reason, I'm bringing a gentleman who I'm really good friends with. He's CEO of Jetstream Hospitality, Jetstream Tech. He's going to be coming to talk about software. We've got a wealth strategist coming. We've got several guys that are coming in that understand, some of the basics of pricing. They understand cost segregation, which if you don't know what that word means, you probably want to go look it up. If you're getting into real estate at all or getting into any kind of investing, you're going to want to know how to manage that money, how to manage that investment. And it's funny because, less than 3 or 4 months ago, this was just a dream. It had no
Hmm.
feet to it, no nothing.
Hmm.
So, I mean, when we started this thing out, I mean, we were like, hey, what's the best way to introduce this thing? So, I think October 1st at Relix here in Knoxville, Tennessee, we're going to have, you know, how many speakers? I don't remember exactly how many speakers,
I
but
It's
uh,
jam packed for
yes.
not a lot of money, and I
Hmm.
love the fact that it's at Relix, because I mean, for locals, Relix is kind of a little bit of like it's got some lore, and it's kind of an iconic location for a lot of people. They do a lot of great events there. It's primarily known for its incredible music events that it has, but it's in a really cool part of Knoxville. It's in kind of the
Hmm.
art district, but there's just something exciting about having it at the Relics. And this event here, which you did kind of a soft opening event before, but obviously this event here is kind of geared towards rentals. You're trying to get the top 100 people in the area that's in the rental industry there, but this is going to be one of many, and we're going to try to do one every quarter or one every whatever. But I'm excited about it. Now, granted, I'm not going to be able to be there at this one because I do have a newborn and stuff going on. But I mean, you've got, I mean, literally just, I mean, I can't imagine a better lineup as far as if I was in rentals. I mean, this is like it's not like your local thing where you're just having a bunch of real estate agents and people. You've got people traveling from Canada, Mizzou,
Mhm.
go Vols, by the way. But
Yes.
you got people coming from Mizzou. You got goodness gracious, I don't even know how many people. But yeah, and it's when you told me the price of it, I was like, dude, you are letting these people get off with a steal, brother. But that's it, neither here nor there. But
Right. Well, I
it's an
understand. Yeah,
incredible
but
price.
when you're providing value to people, the only reason we're charging for it at this point is to pay the bills. We got a couple sponsors. We need some more sponsors. So if you are looking to be a part of this, you want to be someone who wants to get your name out there a little bit. We'd love to have some more sponsors, but really the ticket price in itself is set at such a way that most everybody can afford it. It's not something where we're trying to charge, some of these guys you go see and they've got all the people of the caliber of people that I have coming to speak. I've got CEOs and owners of their own businesses. I've got guys that are strategists and specialists in their
Like
industries.
literally, the first guy talking is a baller, and it only
Hmm.
gets more legit from there. I mean, I know you got, uh, you've got everything from nonprofit guys coming to luxury real estate people to
Hmm.
AI to, you've got literally software, tech, mortgages. Everything that I could possibly imagine with short-term rentals or, rentals in general. I'm so used to calling you the short-term pro, but rentals in
Right.
general. I when I seen the lineup, I was like, and even just being a Vols fan, Jerron Mayman's going to be there, as a wealth strategist. But still, I remember,
Hmm.
bodying up centers and stuff when he's here at UT and stuff. But like literally, it starts with a baller and ends with a giant,
Sure. Sure.
So
Yeah. And the guy who's speaking at the end is going to be someone that a lot of people are going to want to come and listen to because he's really big on tech, but he's always about the human element as well. And so what he's done in his business is he's married tech with the human aspect. I was just recently on a trip and it's great Airbnb I stayed in, great host, but he asked me for a review like 3 times after I'd already given a review. So his bots were working overtime. Great
yeah.
guy, but his bots were working overtime trying to get me to leave a review, and I'd already left a review. So what he tries to do is he'll show people how to build both the best of both worlds. Like you said, Jerome Mayman coming. I'm a huge fan of his. Always been a huge fan. I met
Mhm.
him at a conference not too long ago. Great basketball player. I've got a guy coming from Price Labs, which if you're in this space, the short-term rental space, Price Labs is one of the top, pricing tools that everybody uses for dynamic pricing. I've got an AI guy coming. I've got, like you said, luxury real estate guy coming. I've got a guy who does outdoor adventures, and he's going to come and talk a little bit about his business and how he's eco-friendly and how he's built his business around it.
Well, and he
Roxy
knows how to
Lyons,
create an experience around a
exactly
property, which is
right.
incredible. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and I got Roxy Lyons, a local legend here. If you've ever heard Roxy speak, I mean, you go away so fired up. But it's not enough to earn money and make money, but you've got to figure out ways to give back to your community as
Right.
well. So, and that's kind of what this is. I mean, it's sort of a give back to our community. We did a smaller event, and we had about 30 people there. It was totally free, but I think a lot of people were just sort of like, oh, okay, great. But this one here, I mean, we've really put a lot of time and thought and energy and effort into it. So,
Like literally 90% of the speakers are CEOs, and not like just the kind of CEOs where, you make sort of a fake business and pretend to be a CEO. Like they're
sure.
actually
Right.
legitimate. Like,
Hmm.
like I said, when you show me the lineup, I am not a rental professional, and I was like, "Holy cow!" you know,
Hmm. Oh yeah.
it's
And
exciting,
so,
man.
when we gather all these people in a room, again, we want the best of the best there. I mean, it's okay if somebody wants to come that's trying to break into short-term rentals. There'll be a lot
Hmm.
of knowledge there, but it'll be like drinking from the fire hose from new folks. But we don't want to
Yeah,
discourage anyone from coming because
yeah.
the best way to get into this business is to network and connect with other people. So when we started thinking about this event, we started thinking about the why behind it. So to me, the why behind it begins and ends here in East Tennessee. And that's what I kind of wanted to ask you tonight a little bit about that. I mean, so many people don't realize how many great opportunities and reliable investments
Hmm.
there are right in our own backyard here. I mean, there's so many great things going on. You got the Great Smoky Mountains, you got Oak Ridge, you got all the lakes and all of the parks and all of the great things going on around here. And so someone asked me one day, well, why should I invest in East Tennessee or Knoxville
Hmm.
or the Smoky Mountains, Chattanooga, in the East Tennessee region? And I'm like, why not? You know, so I mean, why do you live here? Why? I mean,
Well,
what's your
as
draw to
a
this place?
as a hardcore Knoxvillian who has traveled all over this beautiful country, there's too many to really count. But like for one, geographical excellence. I mean, you are 12 hours from New York, 12 hours from Florida. You're, 6 to 8 ish hours from Myrtle Beach, 3 hours from Nashville, 3 hours from Atlanta, hour and a half from Chattanooga, 2 hours from Cincinnati. You're like 2 hours from Asheville. I mean, geographically, it is pristine. Gatlinburg was the number one tourist destination at one point in America, number three in the world. Boom. If it there's everything you could possibly want. If you like the outdoors, there's plenty of outdoors. Major League Fishing, Bass Pro comes here all the time. At one point, we had it wasn't the Tour de France, obviously. I'm blanking, but they had the bicycles going through town and
Hmm.
stuff.
Hmm.
It's one of the most beautiful parts of the country, in my opinion. Um, but as far as outdoors, there's hiking, fishing, all that stuff. There's sporting events you could go to. Again, you're not that far from a lot of stuff. It's the birthplace of Mountain Dew. A lot of people don't know that. That's a big one for
Hmm.
me.
Right.
If it's good
Right.
enough for Mountain Dew, I promise you it's good enough for you. But
Absolutely.
the
Hmm.
people are world class people. It's turned into a bit of a melting pot. There's people. I mean, I talk to people all the time who have moved here from Chicago, California, whatever. Um, it's just there's a lot going on there. But I mean, as far as like business stuff, it's big enough to where you could really carve out a nice life for yourself, but small enough to where you feel like you can unplug and rewind. And there's so many phenomenal areas around here, whether it's you know, uh, you got La Follette, you've got Gatlinburg, Sevierville. Obviously, Sevierville's turning into one of the biggest tourist areas in the area. 407 is becoming its own attraction nowadays,
Got the
which
world's
is an
largest Bucky's right now, which is kind of it won't be forever, but it is the world's largest currently as we
yes.
speak. And that's a
Um,
huge draw. You'd be surprised how many people ask me how close the properties that they're renting are to
yeah,
Bucky's, and I'm like, it's right on
yeah,
your way because it's
yeah.
literally right off of exit 407 going
But
into the Smoky Mountains.
you've also got Townsend, which is an incredible little city. That's truly, if you want to be in the outdoors, but you don't want some of the more touristy stuff, you can go to Townsend. But then you also
Hmm.
have South Knoxville, which is a very beautiful part of the city. I mean, there's just so many things to do.
Hmm.
Any restaurant just about that you could once here, but for me it's a little bit of everything. It's a safe city, but it's still a big city. A lot of people don't understand there's over 1 million people in the metropolitan area combined. That's more than I haven't checked the numbers today, obviously, but I know within the last few years there was more people in the metropolitan city area of Knoxville than there was Cincinnati and Cleveland combined. So there's more than enough here. There's more than enough in Gatlinburg, but I mean, you're centrally located. You got I-40, which can go from east to all the way out to California. You got 75. You can take that all the way up. I mean, you're not that far from 81, 26. Like, I mean, where better to have it? Like you said, what else do
Hmm.
you want?
Sure.
Not
Yeah.
to mention too, it's the location of the greatest college football team that's ever been created. So,
Of course. Go
or the
Vols.
greatest.
Go
Well,
Vols.
I say college football, but hey, listen, it's the all everything school now. You can't touch us. We're number one, unbeatable, national champions.
Hmm. Yeah, that baseball team did pretty good this year. I had a Florida State guy giving me some crap when I was in Nashville talking about, it's a
Yeah,
strike. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. My response to him was basically, it takes a little luck as well.
yeah,
So, being geographically located, being one of the biggest tourist hotspots. You got the technology around here. I mean, we've got Oak Ridge. I mean, that place in
Hmm.
itself is a great draw for people. I mean, I don't think people realize how many people want to go there to learn about the history, of what was done there and all of the
Hmm.
things that were built there. And there's so many things there with the technology that just people are drawn to. You've
Hmm.
got Windrock, which is a great place to go ride, side by sides and do four wheeling. You've got, I mean, you're basically 2 hours from Kentucky, 2 hours from Georgia, 2 hours from North Carolina, and about 2.5, 3 hours to Nashville. I mean, you can literally be anywhere from this area. So if you've got a home-based business here, or you want to relocate here with your family because
Hmm.
the cost of living's cheaper, the taxes are lower. There's a lot of reasons to move to this area, and it's amazing to me how many people will say that the market might be a little oversaturated here, whatever, but there's still plenty of reliable opportunity investments out there.
Hmm.
It just takes some time to sit down and think it through. A lot of people are saying, well, we don't want everybody moving here. I mean, I think the more people, the better, as long as it's good quality people and people who are coming in here for the right reasons. Like you said, it's a melting pot. So there's plenty of diversity. There's plenty of things to do here locally that are just, it has that, they call it the scruffy city, Knoxville. They call it the scruffy city. And I think it
Hmm.
was somebody that came here to the 1982 World's Fair called it the scruffy little city. And that kind of sticks. It's kind of like we're just good old boys from East Tennessee sitting here talking. But
Hmm.
really, there's opportunities that we have here that we couldn't have in other places because we just would not, that we would not be able to do the same things we're doing here in another city. So I've been born here, raised here all my life. Same with you. You've been on the road. I've
Hmm.
been on the road doing a lot of traveling, but ultimately this is the place. Unless I move to Florida somewhere on the beach, this will be the place I call home until
Yeah,
the
I mean,
day
I'm the
I
same
turn
way.
in.
Like, I'm not going to relocate, like no offense to, North Carolina, but I mean,
Mhm.
North Carolina's basically got the same terrain. Most of South Carolina until you hit the beach has got the same terrain. Kentucky, I mean, listen, I mean, our bourbon and alcohol's better, I'm just kidding. No,
Right,
but
right.
Kentucky, like, to me, and it's nothing against some, the other states around us, but they're all unique and beautiful in their own way. But I'm the same way, dude. If I'm gonna move to Florida or Arizona or Montana, somewhere that's got a totally different climate, that maybe that's flat. I don't know, but
hmm I,
there's really, you know there's
yeah, I
just,
think there's a lot of, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, yeah. I mean, it's just, you've got literally, I mean, Memphis, Nashville, and Knoxville. I think that sums up, Tennessee as far as
hmm
the uniqueness of it. But East Tennessee, there's just nothing like it, man. I mean, Dollywood in and
hmm
of itself is enough to come here and check it out.
Correct. A lot of people also discount the fact that we have a large university and they're trying to grow it. And
Hmm.
so student housing is a great opportunity for investments here. We're getting a stadium built downtown in Knoxville, Tennessee, brand
Hmm.
new, minor league stadium, and they're building property all around it with places for people to live and people to be able to rent them out as short-term rentals or mid-term rentals. So
Hmm.
the city's already kind of envisioning and planning for the amount of tourism and the amount of things that are going to happen here locally. So, getting away from that a little bit and going kind of in a different direction, as a guy who's grown up in the area and so forth, I'm always looking for good people. And to be honest with you, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I started this was because, as you said, it's kind of opened up the proverbial black book. Back in the day, I had over 10,000 names in the black book. It
Yeah.
was it was nothing for people to call me and say, "Hey, do you know a guy?" I always knew a guy or a gal. And I got away from that a little bit because now I'm more strategically located in a mindset of, okay, I would rather have 50 or 60 really good people around me than thousands around me. So
Right.
my goal right now with the ROI and what our goal is together here is to go out and find some of the best and the brightest. So we're going to be having people come on the podcast in the next coming weeks. We're going to have real estate agents. We're going to have people that are investors. We're going to have people that do fix and flips. I'm going to have some investment people on that are not, that have done like laundromats and things. I've got other people that are lined up that have done other kinds of investments. So again, as we kind of start to wrap this up tonight, we really in this world, I think so many times we bind ourselves up and we don't think that we can do things, and so what the dream of ROI is to build that community, that support system, to where if someone has a question about a business opportunity, for instance, if somebody wanted to start a micro business, that's
Mhm.
right in our wheelhouse, right? I mean, we've done a lot of little micro businesses. We've done phones, we've done different, I mean, I can think of a bunch, but I think that might be one of the best ones. We had our own
Yeah, I
little
mean,
cell phone business for a while, you
we've
know.
done phones. I helped you out with your nonprofit that you did a while
Hmm.
back. I
Right.
mean, like you said, our history goes so far back that, I knew you, before ROI, before staycating, before the short term pro, before the hangry manimal, before
Hmm.
the, like
Right. Right.
you're like me, you've had about 30,000 different monikers, but,
Right.
but I told you though, in the beginning of, when you started, even before you started staycating, I didn't fully understand what you were doing. But when I finally pulled you from the grip of ADD for 5 seconds, because
For sure.
you got 1,000 things going on and probably even more cell phones. Not just kidding, you only got three. But when I finally said, okay, like hold on a second, explain to me what you're doing with staycating, and when you finally sat down and explained it to me, I was like, dude, this is gonna be your thing. Like, this is it. Like,
Hmm.
and
Right.
obviously, like I said, I mean, I put, as you call it, I put the lipstick on it or whatever, because I'm one of the only people that can get in your brain and put it on paper. But,
Right.
we did the branding and people don't understand how much really went into that branding and marketing. It's funny. Some people say
Hmm.
it's too simple. I read, but
Yeah, I
you
saw
know,
that the other day on
yeah.
Facebook too. That was
It,
funny.
I was laughing because I'm thinking, is the Facebook logo too simple? But also, like,
Right.
it's a $3 million business, so something must be working. And I think that's
Sure.
you undershooting your numbers a little bit. But
Yeah, we
uh,
we kind of do. Like I said, I'm not a braggadocious guy.
yeah,
I mean, we
it's
do. I mean, if you calculate everything up, it's much more than that. But again, my
yeah,
goal is always to try to stay humble. Love everybody and leave a legacy is what I always tell everybody on my Facebook lives. And truly, that's the spirit of this. It's because you go and you see so many gurus, man, and they're charging tens of thousands of dollars, and you really can. Most of it you can go find on YouTube. Most of it you can go like look up yourself, or you can do a little research or partner up with somebody and get enough information to get going. But the problem is when you get to a level and you're kind of like, okay, I need to scale up now. And that's where I'm at
yeah.
in my business right now. I was
Well,
telling my wife today,
staycating was me basically saying, dude, this is your thing. This is,
sure, let's go with it.
your taxi that you need to chase as a
Hmm.
dog or whatever. But I was like, dude, this is
Hmm.
gonna be your thing. And then, you escalated it and then escalated and then escalated it. And then now ROI is kind of your way to where now you're reaching down and basically pulling other people up with you. And I think it's incredible. And
Right.
like I said, it's something that I'm so proud to be a part of and
Hmm.
everything. But this is basically like everybody else's chance where they've always wanted to like sit down and pick your brain or be a part, whatever. And it's like, hey, listen, if you want to be a part of it, like coach, one of my favorite coaches, Coach Prime, there says, hey, you know, if you want your shot, right now is the time. Don't holler at me
Hmm.
later. But
Right.
sorry, you were saying you were talking to your wife. I just,
No, I was just talking to my wife about it, and I said I can tell I'm getting ready to level up again. You can always
Mhm,
kind of tell. You've been feeling some of the same stuff. You can kind of feel it in the air when you're getting
mhm,
ready to level up. Things kind of come at you a little harder, come at you a little faster, and you either deal with it and you learn from it and you grow from it, or you cower from it. And the thing about ROI is there's a lot of good local real estate investment groups locally, and I'm gonna give them all a shout out. I'm gonna have some of them on here, so I won't talk to about them tonight. But having community of people of like minds, like hearts. There's a lot of people in this industry that are just people get a bad rap and a bad name in this industry, and what we are trying to do is trying to get away from that because even the best things that you can do, all the efforts you put into it and all the hard work and trying to be loyal, trying to be trustworthy, try to help people. Sometimes people just still don't get it. They don't understand that you really truly are trying to help them because they may not be ready for it. So what'd be great about that is getting people together that kind of believe that they are ready for the next level. And so
Yeah.
ROI is not only a community, it's not only a group of experts, but it's a way for people to level up together. And we've actually sat down and we've got levels of engagement, levels of opportunity, levels of participation. And, for someone to be a coach or a consultant in this organization, they're going to have to go through the steps just like everyone else. You and I are going through those steps right now. Right now, we're all on an even playing field, and so for people to level up and to get to that next level and to understand what we're really trying to accomplish, they're going to have to hang out with us a little bit. They're going to have to attend events. They're going to have to come to things when we have these, morning meetings or whatever we do. They're going to have to be there and they're going to have to show up. And for them to be a part of it, it's not, they can be half in, there's people that are going to be half in, but I think the people who truly get it, some of the people that are going to hear on the podcast, I'm doing a speaking event tomorrow night with 5 other professionals that just, they get it. They've got
Yeah.
their own thing going on and I'm going to support it and they're going to support me. We're doing deals together. We're brokering deals together. I'm doing property management for some of them. We got a marketing guy that came in that's kind of does a guidebook thing, brought him in. We got mortgage guys. I've got you on staff, marketing and branding. It's obvious that we've got all the tools in place, but all the tools and all the things in place is not enough without action and without
Right.
goals and without dreams and without some sort of plan. So back to what you were saying a while ago, you know me for years and you know that how many $1 million ideas have we had? Maybe 10 million, $20 million ideas have we had that we didn't put feet to?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's always the follow through, right?
Exactly. So I think what I really want to push people to do tonight, I guess the call to action tonight is wherever you've got it there. I think you had it up there a few minutes ago. This is how we're kicking this thing off. You can see right there, we've got an early bird price right now. We've got some people that have bought tickets through us. We got some other people that have signed up and said they're going. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be really reaching out and pushing this. Going to be doing some lives, doing some more marketing and branding on it. But
So
if
for
you
the
can
ones
just
that's listening to this, that's not necessarily, because we don't know if the video is going to make it with this or not, but for the ones that's listening, tell us about the event that you got coming up on October 1st.
So it's called Rental Accelerator Conference. Again, this one's going to be primarily short-term, mid-term rentals. It may even flow into a little bit of long-term rentals, but really the goal with this one was to get the best of the best realtors, property managers, people that are already working in the industry. They're professionals. They're people that can bring knowledge because ultimately with this event, we want to grow out of it. I'm not going to talk a lot about it because there's always folks out there that want to do things. And, as soon as they hear me say it out loud, they're going to be like, oh, I can do that. So I
Yeah.
think when people get in a room at a conference and there's some community there and there's some privacy there and there are people that are together, when I actually share some of the things that I want to do with this, I think people are going to start to get it. They're going to understand a little bit better. But the only way they're going to be able to understand is to be there. So
Yeah.
what we're saying tonight
So
is
100 tickets.
100
There's
tickets is what
only
we're selling.
33 tickets. There's only 33 that's 69.99. The rest is regular priced 89.99. So if you're listening to this, pull your phone out and go ahead and just look this up. We'll put a QR code back up on the video here in a minute. We're going to attach a link in the podcast episode when we drop this. But if you're listening to this right now and you hear my voice, follow the link and look to make sure that there's still the early bird ticket prices because once we start pubbing this, these are not going to last long. Also, there's some incredible sponsors. Red 5. I'll let you talk about Red 5 here in a minute, and then Independence Title as well, and then obviously ROI's ROI. But it's an incredible event, like I said. But maybe you could give a shout out to the sponsors a little bit as well.
Sure. Yeah. The basically Brian and I are good friends. He's he's a good guy, local guy. He's a videographer. And if you've ever used him for anything, Brian is a good guy. He does a lot of things here locally. If you've ever heard of Xavier Dobson, the young man from the local guy here that had a promising football career to to play football probably at the next level, maybe even pro. Shooting happened here. He protected some girls. Basically, died a hero. Brian's
Hmm.
been a huge part of that. So Brian has a heart. I mean, Brian really has a heart, and his company, they go out and they do a lot of video where he charges for it. But Brian's coming in and helping me with this, so we can get some good video and some good things there. The title companies, people out there are always looking for good title folks. And what we're trying to do with this is feature some businesses locally that have given us opportunities and taken care of us before, and it's really just a part of growing as a group of people. I mean, you use whatever title company you want, you use whatever video people you want, but what we've tried to do is partner with some of the best of the best. Jetstream Hospitality is going to be a sponsor. They're going to be doing things for us. Staycating is a sponsor. We've got ROI as a sponsor. I've got a couple more people I've been talking to. So if you want to be a sponsor, this is not thousands of dollars. This is something where you could actually come in and be a part of this and do it for a pretty reasonable price. I'm not going to say the price out loud because ultimately what I really want to do is talk to you. I want to
Yeah.
engage with you and explain to you why you should come, why you should be a part of this, why you should be a sponsor. So everything that we've said tonight all hinges around getting off the ground, getting a good start. If 10 people show up, I would be happy. If 25 showed up, I'd be ecstatic. If 100 people shows up, it shows me here locally that people are truly wanting to market themselves, market their business, market their services, and become a more unified force because there's so many things pulling against us. Locally, there's laws that are being passed. There's trash ordinances, short-term rental inspections, and things that are going on in the Great Smoky Mountains. If you're listening to this somewhere else, you probably got some of these things going on in your own market, but strictly here in our market, we've got some pushback that we need some people to get together and sit down in a room and figure out
Well,
how we're going to take care of these things.
everybody wants to talk about leveling up until it comes time to actually start putting boots on the ground. It's kind of like
Sure,
that.
sure.
What do you always say about everybody wants to be a lion or a beast or whatever?
Yeah, it wants to be a beast till it's time to do what beast people do or beast things
Yeah,
do. Yeah,
yeah.
it's absolutely that. So anyway, I mean, you got any final thoughts tonight? I mean, I know that you got just as much passion about this as I do. If you got anything else to add tonight.
I mean, really, guys, just hit the socials. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all that stuff to the Reliable Opportunity Investments Facebook page. If you're not sure what your schedule looks like, no big deal. Go to the Facebook event for the RAC Rental Accelerator Conference 2024. This is going to be one of those events that you're going to end up exactly like me. You're going to be really mad that you missed it. I just, like I said, I've got a 5-year-old and a newborn, and my life is insane right now. But you do not want to miss this one. This is designed for professionals that is already in the rental industry, not people that want to get involved. I mean, there's going to be so many gurus. It's insane. And to be honest with you, I'm just going to go ahead and call it like I see it. If you're not there, then you don't want to be successful because there's nothing for under $100 that you can invest in your future. And you're going to get a meal out of it. You're going to get to network with some of the big dogs in Knoxville. Make sure you be there. But even if you're not 100% sure, just follow the Facebook event page and stuff, and keep up with ROI. We're going to be talking about so many things. This podcast is designed to level you up in one way, shape, or form or another. So, and then, if you want to be a guest, reach out to Vernon. But, like, subscribe, share, follow. Uh, I was going to say tweet it out, but that's not a thing anymore. Exit out or whatever. I don't know.
Exit out.
But
Sure.
no, like I said, I'm just pumped to be excited, or I'm excited to be a part of it, man. And I
Right.
can't wait. This is only the intro, and it's only going up from here. So, you know.
So if somebody's interested in marketing and branding and that sort of thing, how do they find you?
I mean, honestly, the best way is just reach out through ROI.
Okay.
But they can find me on Facebook, Drew Finchum. That's fine as well. But honestly, just reach out through ROI because that's our baby now, our bread and butter, and that's the point of it.
Hmm.
So,
Right. For
Yeah, if
sure.
you want to put a little lipstick or make your whatever you're doing look pretty, yeah, hit me up for sure. No, no
Right.
problem.
Sure. Well, man, I thank you for this. Like I said, this is one of those times where, you were such an integral part of this, because I was literally sitting a half a mile down the road in the vehicle, just like I am now. I was like, we had the name, like we had the acronym, but
Yeah,
you were just like, hey, man, let's add. And at that moment, it was like,
yeah,
it was
like
like an
literally,
aha moment.
you were explaining it to me, and I specifically told you, I said, just keep talking, give me a minute. And that's usually, when it comes to our business stuff, whenever I say keep talking, just give me a minute, I'm about to go. And
Hmm.
I just was like running it through my head, and I was driving too, and I just said, all right, dude, I got it. Reliable opportunity investments, boom. And you were just dead silent. Like,
I was
and
quiet.
I remember you saying, okay, okay. And I was like, dude, that's it. Like, you're not going to be able to top it, dude. Reliable opportunity
Sure.
investments. Like,
Right.
everybody that wants a return on their investment, everybody that puts money in anything, what do you want? You want it to be reliable. You want it to be a reliable opportunity, and you want it to be an investment that creates reliable opportunity. I mean, it doesn't matter how you slice it, and
Hmm.
everybody knows return on investment that's a given. But how do
Right.
you I can invest $1,000 and get $5 back, and I got a return on my investment. But it doesn't mean that it's reliable, and it doesn't
Right.
mean that it's going to create opportunity. So how do I find out if an investment is truly a reliable opportunity? And it's just But yeah, we were driving down the road, and I said, "Dude, that's it." And you were just and you went dead silent, and I was like, I mean, you're
Hmm.
not gonna be able to top it. I mean, and it
Right.
just
It was one of those. It was one of those Oprah moments. It was one of those aha moments. You get a great name. You get a great name. You get a
yeah,
great name. And so I really want to thank you for that, because I felt like there's a lot of times where we've gone back and forth, and as we always
that's the
say,
only time that you've ever enlisted me as a branding and marketing consultant. That's the only time that I've ever helped you with something that when the words came out of my mouth, I was like, maybe I should have said on that one. I don't know. That's good.
right,
That's
right,
good.
yeah,
Any other
sure,
time, I'm just like, what about this? What about that? Like, let's make the logo look old school and new. And then like, it'd be kind of crazy if we did mint and red. Nobody does that, like, I don't know what but
hmm, right,
that was the one time where as soon as I said it, I was like, that's going to be, and we want to bring everybody else along with us too. It's an incredible thing. So,
right,
but
for sure. So as we wrap this up tonight, I'm going to just kind of close it out here a little bit, and I just want to make sure that everybody understands that you know we're real people. I mean, we're authentic. I mean, we're real people.
yeah,
Do we
this
have haters?
incredible,
Absolutely. Do we have people that doubt us? Absolutely. Do we wake up every morning and sometimes go, what am I thinking? What am
yeah,
I
I mean,
doing?
he's in his
And
van and
yes,
I've got a Dollar General painting above my head. It is what it
right.
is.
Yeah.
Like it's,
Oh, yeah. I'm sitting here literally because I'm so busy that I
mhm,
had to stop to do this, because we had planned on it. But the way life works sometimes is you just have to improvise, and you have to go with
yeah.
what you got at the moment. I was inside the Starbucks there behind me, sitting down, and there's music, there's people talking. I came outside and there's, bugs and cicadas everywhere. I was like, you know what? This will work in my car right now. It'll work right here. So the biggest thing right now is what we really need people to do is go register for this thing, get on board with it. Let's get going. Let's get moving. Everybody wants to pick the brain. Everybody wants to talk to all my buddies. They're always saying, dude, if we could just sit down at once ever so often and bring all the people in and just tell them what they need to hear, it would save us so much time, so much energy. These are things I've already been doing, but now we've got a brand name on it. We've got staycating, got
Mhm.
something else coming up that I'm working on. And everybody's always like, "You're so busy and you're all over the place." I'm really not all over the place. What I'm doing is I'm figuring out how now to brand things to where it's easy for people to understand, versus in the past it'll be like, "Hey, I'm a short-term pro and this is the 5,000 things that I do." Now it's like, "Hey, I'm Vernon Corum. I got the ROI thing. I got the short-term pro thing. I got the short-term rental rescue. Staycating.com and something to be named in a future date. But all of it is for one reason and one reason only: to be able to help people out, to help people find those reliable opportunity investments, to get the ROI, the return on the investment. What it is like you said earlier, we are not just trying to build return on investment. We're wanting to show people the how, the what, the where, the when, all that sort of stuff. That's our goal, is to put all that in place and develop systems, processes, training, conferences, and all that. That's what we're trying to do. So as I close out here, I always tell people, love everybody and leave a legacy. That's what this is. ROI is about loving people and supporting people and bringing people together and showing them that we truly do care about them. And then hopefully this outlives us at some point. Like I told you the other day, I mean, man, at one point I'd love to see you take this thing and run. Maybe our kids run with it. I don't know. But right now, all I know is people need to get together and get in the room with us. Come to that conference. That's all I'm saying. Just come to the conference. You know, that's all about what we're trying to do right now, is just get everybody together, loving everybody and leaving legacy. That's all I got today.
All right. Well, if you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, the podcast as well. Share this with your business buddies. And until next time, this is the Reliable Opportunity Investments ROI Podcast.
Peace.